We finally have answers. With day 2 of the NFL draft starting in just a few hours, the New York Jets draft plans have been revealed, and we are going to break all of it down, as this is a huge impact on the New York Jets offense and what their moves could be, with a trade being very likely as well. So a lot to discuss. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jets Digest. It's Chris and Matt here, and we're going to jump right into things as always. And guys, if you are part of that 67% that's not subscribed to Jets Digest, we're in the middle of draft days, and you guys are you're missing out if you're not watching Jets Digest right now. This is how you know more about the New York Jets than anyone else you surround yourself with. That's what we're bringing to you guys. We're the best New York Jets outlet on all of the internet or anywhere ever in history. So with that all being understood, let's jump into the video, because there is a lot to talk about with this. As we know, Justin Fields, the new Jets quarterback, does not have a ton of options going into this season yet. Obviously, Garrett Wilson's there. Garrett Wilson's phenomenal. But on top of that, there has not been a ton of options out there. However, now the New York Jets have been heavily connected to one player with a ton of potential, and Jets fans would absolutely love this. Now, it was revealed by Tony Pauline, NFL Insider, that the Jets are targeting Mason Taylor with their second-round pick. And the full quote is from Pauline saying, "The Jets are targeting LSU tight end Mason Taylor with the 42nd pick, but it seems unlikely that he makes it to them." And obviously, that does feel correct, Matt, that likely we could see Mason Taylor get picked before that 42nd pick. Where things stand right now, obviously pick number 33 is upcoming, and Taylor, we've already seen the top 2 tight ends go off the board. We've seen Colson Loveland get picked. We saw Tyler Warren get picked at 14th, because obviously he's a top 10 pick, as you always kept saying. But in all seriousness, Matt, most Jets fans, you have to imagine, would absolutely love this move. I know I would.
Going into the draft, Chris, we said with that 7th overall pick, we wanted either Armand Membo or Kelvin Banks. And then the 2nd round pick, we wanted either Elijah Arroyo or Mason Taylor. So this news looks like our plans are pretty much syncing up perfectly with the New York Jets plans. And that's because our plans don't come from just what we want. It comes from looking at historical trends in the NFL, looking at how NFL teams are building their rosters to adjust to the new market in the NFL. It says tight ends are less valuable than they've been in the past, and tight ends, the really good ones, come from day 2. You don't necessarily have to take them on day 1, where you do have to take your top tackles. And it looks like the New York Jets have done their homework. They understand that as well. Let's talk about Mason Taylor, the prospect. Someone who is a really tough player. He's a good route runner. He's not as tough as Tyler Warren, but he could be 90% as good as Tyler Warren while being worth, was pick 42 to pick 7, maybe 45% of the price. Do 2 pick 42s get you pick 7? If I was on the clock at 7, I'd say no. So I really think this is financially the correct way to go for the New York Jets when it comes to getting another option for our quarterback, Justin Fields. I almost called him Trevor Lawrence for some reason, but we got our quarterback for this year. That's true. We got our quarterback for this year. Now it's time to go get him some weapons. Very excited to see what the New York Jets plans are. But that second point of that first news article is very important. When you first told me that this was the thing that we were going to be talking about, Mason Taylor being the New York Jets plan at 42, my first thought was, if he's around at 42, and it looks like you are absolutely on the same page, talking about how it is likely, if they really are targeting Mason Taylor with this pick, they're going to have to trade up to go get him. I've seen just a couple days ago him being mocked as high as 31 or 32 in mock draft. So teams are looking really close at him. This tight end group in this draft class is very strong, reminiscent of a couple years ago where we saw Dalton Kincaid was the only tight end taken in the first round, but as soon as that second round started, we got Michael Mayer off the board, we got Sam Laporta off the board immediately, and then more tight ends followed them. But round 2, especially the top of round 2, is where a lot of teams are going to be looking to get tight ends. And based on the reports we're gathering from our draft analysis, is looking like Mason Taylor is the number 1 tight end still available. And as a team that is tight end needy and pass catcher needy, I'm really hoping we can get our hands on him.
I agree. I think he's a really, really good fit for the New York Jets. He's a great pass catcher. He's someone who's very young, only 20 years old still, which does incentivize the idea of, for a team like the Jets that doesn't necessarily look like they're going to be competing for anything really next season as of where things stand right now. They're going to try to win games, but at the same time, this looks like a team that's rebuilding, that's quietly rebuilding. We've talked about this a bunch. And so bringing in Mason Taylor does fit that mold because Taylor's younger. And look, the pass blocking, just the blocking in general is not there yet, but the athleticism's there, the ability to be a receiver is there. So there is a lot to like about Mason Taylor where things stand right now. I mean, 3 years at LSU from 2022 to 2024. He was there. Final season at LSU, got 55 receptions for 546 yards, which is basically 10 yards per reception. He had a total of 6 touchdowns in his time at LSU with 45.5 yards per game. So he's someone who would come into the Jets, and because he's a younger guy, it would take some time for him to really get things going. But he was involved heavily in the LSU offense since he first got there. So it is interesting to note that this is a guy who's been playing and on the field for a long time now, and he'll be ready to go for the Jets, and I'd be really excited with this pick personally. I think they should go tight end because, I mean, if you don't, you're just risking yourself not having a tight end on your roster till you're picking at the 4th, 5th round, and most of the good tight ends are gone, and you're really staring down the barrel of like Jeremy Ruckert being far and away your tight end 1, which I'd imagine this regime wants to avoid, and it's not against Jeremy Ruckert by any means. It's kind of the mix of, well, they didn't draft this guy, and also Jeremy Ruckert just has not proven he's a tight end 1 in the NFL yet, so it's a matter of that as well. So it does make some sense that the Jets would be going for Mason Taylor here. I really wanted to call him Mason Graham, but I didn't, so I'm proud of myself.
Yeah, I've almost called him Mason Graham a couple of times, and that's because Mason Graham's a really good player. So shout out to the Jacksonville Jaguars for that trade down to get a first-round pick for next year, get a second-round pick this year, and then also go ahead and snag an elite prospect. But back to the Jets, just like you said, it's all about filling the needs that we have in the draft. It wouldn't be the end of the world if Mason Taylor's taken from us. You know, I like Elijah Arroyo as well. I think he can be a highly successful option. Let's say we don't trade up. Those guys are both off the board. You can still take Terrence Ferguson out of Oregon in the 3rd round, or you can wait even longer for maybe a Gunnar Helm out of Texas, who I think is a backup tight end, but would be an improvement on who we have here. He's a tall, pretty much a very tall possession catch guy. So just throw the ball over everyone else's heads on the end zone and score some touchdowns with him. Also, you can get Oronde Gadsden. There is a Jake Briningstool out of Clemson was the name I've been looking for this whole time. He could also be a fun option in the 3rd round as a move around, do it all tight end. So there are options. It's not the end of the world if we can't get one of our 2 top tight ends right here in the 2nd round. And if we don't get one of those guys, another position of need where there's a very exciting player on the board, Nick Emanwari out of South Carolina, absolutely blew up the combine, was projected a 1st-round pick up until, yesterday. I don't think those projections ever faded. He just didn't get taken in the 1st round. We still have a need at safety. He's still on the board. If those tight ends are not there, that guy could be a really, really fun option to help solidify our secondary.
Yeah, that'd be, again, very, very interesting move. The Jets, they do have a lot of options here, and Mason Taylor was ranked by PFF on their big board as the 73rd player here. He was 3rd tight end. This is according to the most recent PFF big board I've seen. And they mentioned that he's young and could still be growing into the talent and could be, more importantly, his strength that he has to grow into in his current role. He's a tight end 2 or 3 candidate, more of a tight end detached from the line of scrimmage as a receiver. But if he gets stronger, he could be a more versatile and consistent contributor. Look, this breakdown kind of screams what the Jets have been doing in free agency as well. It's that island of broken toys type situation, except with Taylor, it's not that because he's not broken. He's just not finished yet. And there's that difference where the Jets, they're clearly making moves for potential. I mean, with Brandon Stevens hoping he works out, and then on top of that, looking at a guy like Andre Sisco on a prove-it deal, and Justin Fields, all of these deals the Jets have made outside of the Josh Reynolds signing, what we've seen is this team believe in the potential of some players and think they could get it out of them. So Mason Taylor adds up here. If he's, again, likely not going to be available at 42, but at the end of the day, they can trade up.
Yeah, we'll see. But talking about that island of broken toys that you're talking about, there is one broken toy that I would love it if the New York Jets could get their hands on him. Will Johnson falling down the draft due to injury concerns. I understand that we don't need a cornerback, but if he's there,
Oh,
they better take him.
Yeah, you
Oh
take
my
him.
goodness, they better take him. The dude is way too good to be leaving on the board. If he's injured and can't play, you're gonna blow a pick. If he isn't injured and he comes back strong, it's gonna be the steal of the draft by a mile. The dude
Yeah.
would have been a top 5 to 7 pick should he been healthy. And I'm not a doctor, and I haven't taken a very close look at his knee. The real doctors are telling us it's a bad look for his knee, but if he can get over that, man, oh man, that guy could be a steal, and we could have the best corner tandem in football, and it wouldn't even be close.
I'd honestly take him if he was there. Like, I'd have
I
no
would,
problem
so would I. So would I.
risking the burn
But
pick.
but we haven't seen the medical reports, and if we did see his knee ourselves, we wouldn't be smart enough to identify what was wrong with it. But
How dare
I
you
do think.
insult my knee injury MRI reading intelligence?
Oh, I forgot about those. So you should actually tell Will Johnson how to get better.
I should tell Will Johnson exactly how to get better, because like Will Johnson, what he definitely did was run down the court at Sacred Heart University's Bobby Valentine Recreation Center and just have his knee explode for absolutely no reason whatsoever, and have to have his friends drive him to get his knee examined, and then have his friends leave to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. Even though I did sign off on that, in fairness. I did tell you guys go to Buffalo Wild Wings. So, long story short here, what we're trying to say is that I'm a good friend and Matt's a bad friend. And on top of that, pick Will Johnson or Mason Taylor if Will Johnson's not there. And if you're worried about not being there to take Mason Taylor, you trade up. Or you go with Arroyo if he's there. But guys, what do you want to see the Jets do? Let us know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe. Turn on post notifications if you want to make sure that Matt won't leave me for Buffalo Wild Wings again. Go Jets.